Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of I Cast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I am Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have...
Lieutenant Ignis Halcón.
Maximus Shans.
Ataraxia Kalian.
And Buster Bilgewater.
We are underwater right now. We are exploring the caverns below the fabled treasure that the crew was led to by legend, by adventurer, and from clues that they uncovered as they have traversed these hidden caverns below underwater, leaving them, some of them vulnerable, but others allowing them to shine in this element. They have come across these 5 Sahuagin. Now, they've quickly dispatched of these Sahuagin, much to the DM's surprise, but with some clever maneuvers and some well-timed spells, there is one left in the paws of Max as he's grappling with him. And we're actually going to jump right to Max's turn here, as we ended the last session with Max wanting to take an intimidation check.
Max will, using the verbiage of the captain, but knowing it doesn't work for him anymore. In Aquan, he will say, I suggest that you tell me what other predators live down here, and I promise I won't feed you to them.
Roll an intimidation check.
I should have given the Silvery Barb's inspiration to Max. I cannot speak Aquan.
That's a 19.
Okay. In Aquan, the Sahuagin responds in pain, being pushed and its chest being thrust towards the ceiling. Essentially, it's weird because normally you'd throw him to the ground and dig your knee right into the back of him, but instead you're throwing him to the ceiling and digging your knee into the back of them, just with your swimming. So it's a fun little visual there. And through Aquan, the Sahuagin goes, You've come into our house. Of course there's danger here.
You didn't answer the question. Max is just confused.
There are more of us. We are everywhere in here.
Max is just thinking to himself like, oh, well, that threat didn't really work then, because they wouldn't eat themselves, hopefully. Like, he's just like, oh, dang it, okay, well. And then what Max will do then is he'll use just the strength that he has almost to kind of pull him down a little bit and just like almost body hug his arms against Max, and he'll just say out loud to the whole group, as he drags it down and holds his body, he'll just like look toward Ignis and like basically say, Lieutenant, say hello. Basically like nodding that this time he is in agreement.
Wow. We're doing this again, are we? Wow.
Oh, good Lord. Wow.
Oh, please, come on.
Oh, man.
Oh, Ignis's face darkens, and you have never seen this level of pure, unadulterated loathing on her face.
Is she gonna attack? Is there like tension like that's palpable?
Not that much tension, but there is. Okay. Especially after everything that just went down on the beach. Oh, that callback really, really gets to her.
Maybe we ask about the treasure instead of saying hello.
Max is just holding him, so.
Buster, you swimming closer to them, sort of getting in between Max and Ignis to break this tension.
I don't like where this is heading again. I don't want us to get stuck.
You're like, I'm not letting this happen again while we're in the enemy territory.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is not the fun part of the adventure. That's Buster's mindset. I'm Josh having a great time, guys.
So Buster swimming in between Max and Ignis, asking about the treasure. Ataraxia, what are you doing in this situation here?
Ataraxia is feeling very introspective, actually. Like, he's not trying to get involved. He's just looking at these three knuckleheads going like, am I seriously the only thing that's keeping these three from tearing each other's throats out?
Right now, yeah.
I don't think Buster's going to tear anybody's throat
He'll
out.
just
honestly.
tidal wave it out.
Yeah.
You're not going to watership down this situation?
Max will, with Buster's suggestion, Max will then just say, in Aquan, obviously,
Is there treasure down here? Where?
I'm going to have him roll to see if he can get above your intimidation at this point, but nope, that's what I thought. 13 on the die. There you go.
We have a treasure. A great treasure. It's in our treasury. Which way?
As you threaten and say which way, they point downwards to the tunnel that is southward, past where you came in from the north side in this entrance, in this in this cave. And there's one that goes southward and the one that goes eastward. And so the one southward is where the Sahuagin is pointing currently.
Down there. Quite a distance, but just follow along.
Max will just say in Aquan,
Thank you. As promised. I won't feed you to the other... Well, okay.
just like, all right, that threat doesn't work anymore. And Max will telepathically talk to Ignis for the first time.
Let's go. Yes.
And he'll just say,
Lieutenant. This is Max. I have an ability to talk. It's complicated. I'm sorry for earlier. In your own way, I'm asking you to say hello to our friend, like you did the other one.
Is Max still looking at the Sahuagin when he speaks telepathically, or is he looking at her when he speaks telepathically?
he's looking at her.
For a moment, when he first says Lieutenant, when she was looking at him and she's glaring at him with this darkness, there is light for a moment. Almost physical light comes off of her. And then when she hears that it's Max, the light completely vanishes. And that darkness returns to her. And the more he talks to her, he doesn't know why, but the more he talks to her, the more angry you can see her and the more upset you can see her getting. And out loud to him, she just responds, "No," through gritted teeth.
See, I told you he can talk in my head. I told you he can talk in the head. That's what he's doing. He's talking to your head. I feel like something's going on.
Buster's like, I'm not crazy, fool.
He just saw Max just stare deathly at the lieutenant, and then she got really angry.
Man, how many olive branches does Max have to throw to this woman?
You got to throw the right one.
If at all possible, when you make that telepathic link, if you try again, there is just an iciness to it. Like, if she can close you out, she would. She refuses to be reached, specifically in this moment.
Buster, you are elated right now of just like, finally, everybody knows.
Max can talk in the heads.
I was trying to offer an apology.
Yeah, but what he doesn't know is that was so severely triggering for her.
Everything's
in a way
triggering
that he
for
can't
her.
possibly understand. He can't possibly understand what that meant. Because of the way you reach out. But you've done that before, right? When you try to connect with somebody and you are unintentionally harming them and you don't know why, or that you're even really doing it.
Just means you're close. You're close to the
So
truth.
he feels that it's she just hates him, but what he doesn't know is that he's actually really affecting her in ways that she doesn't want to be affected, and it just like keeps on top of each other, building and building and building. Because to her, that's revelation, to feel that voice in her mind, and then to have it be Max. just crushes her.
To answer Buster's question, yes, the Sahuagin is still alive, being held by Max right now.
I mean, unless somebody's making a move, Buster's gonna Eldritch Blast him.
Great. Go ahead and roll, just so we can see how much blasting gets done.
And it's 2 blasts. The first one is a 16 to hit,
Yep.
and that is 5 damage. And then the second one is a 17 to hit, 5 damage.
Mm-hmm. The first one totally knocks them unconscious. The second one blasts open their armor that was protecting them, just splays the armor and some of like the beads that they were wearing into the water as the Sahuagin goes limp in Max's arms. Max, you let go and they just start floating with the 4 other bodies in this chamber here.
We're wasting time. I don't know what you guys need to do, but in here is not the place to have these kind of conversations. We're on a treasure hunt.
Max will reach out and grab Buster's throat. Not like to choke. He's not choking him, but he'll grab him and like pull him toward himself. And he'll just look like, if Buster allows it, he's just looking directly in Buster's face.
He'll allow it for sure.
And he's going to telepathically say to Buster,
Just because you push others away doesn't mean I have to. Let me try and make a family here. Because I'm done with you focusing on greed instead of goals together.
and he'll just kind of push him off and start swimming. No,
But
swimming.
Buster stays close.
Nope.
He grabs you. He's gonna grab you like intensely, as hard as he can. And he's not. He's just gonna say one thing if he can. He says,
Look at that kid, Max.
Max will look over at Ataraxia.
And Ataraxia's just floating there, smiling, not saying anything, just kind of looking back and forward between the three of you as you're all now staring at him.
Give the kid a win, man. We need to do this thing and do it right.
He'll relax, like the tension in Max's body will relax.
This way.
And he'll just start swimming.
With Max leading the way, Ataraxia, you still have the light source, so I imagine you would have to go right after Max, unless Ignis was wanting to go near the front with Max.
Absolutely not.
So Ataraxia being close behind Max, I think the order would be Max, Ataraxia, Buster, Ignis. Is that right?
"Yeah, I want to stay close to Ignis. I'm worried she's gonna do something crazy."
Great. Sounds good. Ataraxia and Buster. We start swimming down southward through these caves, this network of water. It's a little bit of a swim at this one. You are moving through at a decent pace, but it is taking you some time. Max, you definitely have to go slower, else you're going to you'd lose your light source and leave Ataraxia in the dust. And Ignis, pulling up the rear, you're able to see behind you, and there are a lot of sharp turns and corners, and there's some steep banks, some steep hills that go up and down, and so it's kind of a workout. You have to go diagonal and from where you were before, and moving your body, and it's exerting quite a bit of effort in here. And this water is just cold. It's just cold here. And but thank heavens you have water breathing, because you have spent probably a good, I don't know, I would say about 45 minutes underwater at this point. And yeah, it's hard, but you keep pressing forward on with the promise of the Sahuagin that you interrogated until you get to another fork in the path here. And there are, as I mentioned, a lot of forks in this path. This chamber is about 20 by 30, and there's a path that goes northward and a path that goes eastward as well. It's up to you which way to go and investigate, as the Sahuagin didn't give you any direct instructions, but just said to follow the path. Max, you are in the lead here, though, and with Ataraxia close behind, so you can consult with him, or you can take charge and just make a decision for the rest of the crew.
Max is just physically, is mentally and emotionally drained of trying to talk to the crew anymore. He's just done. But he will, to give the kid a win, turn to the captain and ask,
Which way, Captain?
Ataraxia is going to go into kind of the center of this chamber here and just give a little spin, just kind of a little pirouette, a little mirthful fawn sort of pirouette, and then just stick out one hand straight out in front of him and see where he ends up pointing.
Nice.
Incredible.
Nice. All right, Ned, do you want to roll if you want this to be random?
Indeed. Are we going to go north or south? We are going north.
All right. As we go north, Max taking back the charge, leading the way, or letting Ataraxia lead now?
He'll still lead the way, just to protect the captain, if you will, just to not let the captain be the, onslaught of anything coming. He'll lead the way.
Very nice. As you go forward, let's go north and see what it has to offer. You get to a strange room here, about 20 by 20 here. There are numerous strange organic filaments that fill this chamber, running from floor to ceiling, like columns. Fist-sized pink ovoids float from the filaments, bobbing in the lazy current that you create as you swim into this room. Max, that's what you see as you enter in. Ataraxia, you closely illuminate this room behind, followed by Buster and Ignis. You all swim right into the middle of this room, seeing these strands go from the ceiling down to the bottom. Curious what they are.
So, those have to be Sahuagin eggs, right? Am I the only one thinking that?
You are the only one thinking that, yeah.
Okay.
Ataraxia, as you look closer, with your light source, you see through and you see a shape resembling a sort of small fetus Sahuagin shape being illuminated in each of these pink sacs. So you're saying that and everyone's like, you're the only one thinking that. You're like,
Well, now everybody's thinking it because it's true.
You're like, well, everybody should be thinking it if they're not already, okay? Because that's what's happening here.
All right. This room is weird. Should we keep going?
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Typical 13-year-old response.
13-year-old just wants to get out of the nursery.
Yeah, I don't do well with kids.
As Ataraxia and Max move on, Buster is gonna look at Ignis and be like, "We've had to deal with so many of these creatures," and he's gonna look at the eggs and just be like,
do we,
As Max and Ataraxia go toward the exit of this room, Ignis will take out her dagger.
yeah. I'll start Eldritch blasting the eggs.
So just start cutting. Just a little slice in that embryo sac.
Wow. So that happens, and we don't need to describe any of that.
Yes.
Moving on.
Buster is not happy
evil
leaving
character,
this
folks.
room. Buster's not happy leaving this room. He just feels like they had to do that.
So Max and Ataraxia, you go first, and you get to a dead end.
Oh, crap.
Right. Go turn around and pass the perfectly healthy
dead
children.
You get to a dead end, but this room is occupied by somebody.
By somebody.
There is a fish person, not a Sahuagin, but a Ataraxia. You would know this. This is a Locatha.
Yes.
She has orange scales.
It's like, imagine if the Lorax was a fish person.
Oh, yeah,
Sir.
yeah.
That is very susical.
So this Locatha, she is got beautiful blue fins that seem to round her face, and bright orange and reddish scales as it flows back over her body. And she is a humanoid figure, and she speaks to you. Seeing the four of you, she kind of swims up and away from you for a little bit, and she speaks in common. She goes,
What are you? Where did you come from?
We came from the ship, the Sato Song, through the Blue Bite's embrace, and now we killed all the Sahuagin out there, and we're here. Hi, I am Ataraxia Kalian. I am the captain of a crew. Who are you?
You've killed the Sahuagin.
You don't even know the first of it.
You've killed their king?
Oh, okay, that's really good to know. I'm sure that by the time we leave this place, we will have.
Oh my gosh.
It's not wrong.
Well, see that you do. He's horrible. He's keeping me here captive. He took over my hatchery and my...
Oh no.
Yeah, he sure did.
My previous tribe, and he has ruled as a tyrant in this land.
Well, that sounds like the kind of person that we'd be down to depose. Is that right, Max?
Yes. Were those Sahuagin eggs or your eggs?
Those were my eggs, but they were to be raised as evil Sahuagin, perpetuating the evil and the pillaging that was going on in this part of the sea.
Well, hopefully we can free you, and you can take your eggs and raise them pure.
Have we caught up yet?
yes, you
Bad
have.
person.
Yes, you have.
Jake, you're such a bad person.
Ignis, have we forgotten? Ignis is evil aligned, okay?
I'm not saying we were bad. I'm saying that Jake is a bad
Oh, I'm sorry. Actions don't have consequences?
Specifically bringing it up just to twist it.
That's what you get when you have one good alignment in a sea of terrible.
She goes,
I pray you're the heroes that can free me from the clutches of the evil king here. Why have you come here? Have you heard of our imprisonment?
We heard that there was some awesome treasure down here, but...
Oh, yes.
Oh, cool. Have you seen the treasure?
Oh, yes, I have. It's quite good.
Quite good.
Quite good.
Like gold and stuff? Like it's shiny. It glitters. It's bright. It is almost as beautiful as I am.
Buster's mood is improved.
All right. You have been very helpful. We know that the treasure is great. We know that we need to kill the king of the Sahuagin. I think this has been a very mutually beneficial sort of situation. Only good things have come from our meeting here today.
Yes, please. When you have defeated Krellroot, the evil tyrant here, please, can you let me know so I can leave this horrid place?
Absolutely. Krellroot, you said. That sure is a name.
Krellroot.
Krellroot, everybody.
Krellroot.
Krellroot.
Yes, Krellroot, he is a tyrant who has ruled and just wished to take, and he took the treasure of rock and kept it for his own, and has just amassed his own treasure atop it. And as he's pillaged local ships, he is pretty bent on one ship in particular. He doesn't come and speak to me often, though, but he's gained a fervor against them, as some of his number have recently been decimated by them.
I turn to the rest of the crew.
Guys, this sounds like a really good opportunity to get rid of our Sahuagin problem.
Agreed.
Max nods, yeah.
And treasure.
Ignis nods.
I will remain here so that not to arouse suspicion wandering the halls, but please inform me when the coast is clear for me to leave.
Absolutely. You got it.
And you are free to leave.
Max will lead the swim back, as he's been doing.
Yes.
How strong does this creature seem?
The little fish woman.
They are quite weak.
And as Max swims through the egg chamber. He obviously sees everything that happened, leading the pack.
Yes, it is a sad sight. One that logically, Max, you can understand in some context of somebody could see this as like a necessary thing to be done, having the information or the encounters that you would have. I'm not saying you necessarily would, maybe you do in some context, but it does sadden you.
We thought they were Sakulian eggs.
Ignis says without remorse.
Max will just pause, and he'll just say,
Someone else lead the way.
and he will just float there purposefully, like letting all three of them go ahead. And he is not out loud or anything, but he is seriously starting to question just wanting to be here with these people anymore.
I really thought it was going to loop around.
Ignis will take the lead.
Everybody's taking lead.
Ignis taking the lead with Ataraxia close behind, Buster and Max behind, just staying for a spell. As the light fades from you, Max, you are left in darkness. With your thoughts, with your emotions, with the actions of what have been done around you.
Max will keep swimming along. After like a good, he honestly is probably sitting in this chamber for not a long time. It's like 10, 15 seconds, but in total darkness, just really thinking to himself, why? A lot of whys around a lot of issues. And then he'll keep swimming.
Ignis can have her echo out to 30 feet ahead of her. And so keeping one eye in that other realm, she'll keep that oily suited echo 30 feet ahead. And in case in another timeline something comes up, or, in this timeline, if something comes up, she'll be the first one there.
Right. Excellent. As you move forward with your echo ahead, still with dark vision, you see a lot of curves and a lot of bends.
So Ataraxia had no reaction to that egg room?
Cannot.
Well,
He has reactions though, just because his emotions don't change.
yeah. Ataraxia is being, I would say, noticeably quiet during the course of this dungeon crawl.
Buster's debating explaining himself.
Did you have more to explain, but outside of that?
I don't. It's a bad moment. It's a bad moment for Buster. He didn't want that to be a.
It's not only a bad moment, Buster, but it causes you to really think about some of the things that have led you here, and really cause you to think about what's been happening over the past couple months to you specifically. You've made peace with joining a crew to sail the sea, and then later finding out they're pirates and being yeah, okay. That's you kind of fell into it without realizing it, right? Mm-hmm. But it turned out pretty good, right? And so you kept moving forward, and you're just little things happening here and there.
Skirting lines, just trying to get by, get along, stay out of
Getting
focus.
by, curtain line. Oh, that's just the thing. You were able to adapt because everything happened ever so gently, and then a little bit more gently, and a little bit more gently, and then you were kidnapped, and then you were forced into slavery, and then you were forced into a life or death situation, and then thankfully you were led into a drastic action which led to some sort of freedom. But as you're reflecting on this, you really have realized that ever since you were kidnapped at that point, it's been nothing but drastic to drastic to drastic to drastic. And I'd say this moment is could be a clarity moment for Buster of what just happened. Of a lot of things for Buster have been reactionary, and this is one of them. But as you have this silence fill the air, it just caused Buster to really kind of start thinking about a lot of the things that have been happening over the past month or so. And how he's changed and how he may change in the future as well. As the silence hangs through the air, Ignis, your shadow moves forward. This is a large, very large room. The water in this cavern is murky, with the haze of fresh blood. And gobbets of flesh seem to float in the water. They are fish. You see like a few like shark pieces here and there. You see some crab legs floating off in the distance. And just to not bury the lead, this is the feeding hall.
Ugh.
And as this is the feeding hall, there are way in the west, since you can see 60 feet in front of you, at the tips of your vision, you see a number of individuals digging into some fresh meals on the western side. Some Sahuagin, a shark, munching down on some recent kills. Way far away. Again, you can see up to 60 feet, so this is right at your periphery, and you are 30 feet behind your echo as well.
Can we tell on our map, we have a couple of tunnels that are closed off by green squiggles. Is it seaweed that's covering the doorways? Are they able to be gone through, or are they closed off to us?
Correct. So I'll go and explain the rest, the exits of this. Now, there are 5 exits outside of this room. There's to the north, we have one that is blocked off by knotted seaweed. We have to the east, southeast, also blotted seaweed. The south, which is getting dangerously close to those that are feeding, also blocked with seaweed. The southwest, which is past those that are feeding right now, seems to be open. And then to the northwest, which is near where the feeding is happening, not blocked by seaweed currently.
Could I petition to the DM? Could Ignis offer a silent prayer to Rolterra and make a religion check and see where her echo naturally goes? If there's in another timeline, the echo might know or have a direction to go.
Where the treasure is.
Yeah. They would have gotten different information or had a different clue.
Okay. I'll make it a high DC, but yes, I would say let's see how that goes. The higher the results, I'll say that you can have more confidence in what the echo chooses, but a low result will not necessarily mean a wrong choice from the echo.
Right.
Does that make sense?
For sure.
It just will mean you, as the player, will be unsure if I am trying to psych you out or if I'm trying to give you false information.
Sure.
What an assurance.
That is only a 12.
12. Sounds good. As you pray to Rolterra, what do you pray? What do you say?
In her mind, as she closes her eyes, which nobody can see because she's out in front, and she just prays, "Great Mother, which way to the treasure, so we can finally finish our mission? Which way would you have us go? Which way to our fate?"
As your echo looks back at you, sort of like cocks their head, like scrunches their eyes, looks back into the chamber, and in the far southwest, past the feeding station, past those that are feeding on the fresh meal, your echo points way far away. And I'm talking, I forgot to explain this to listeners, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's about 100 feet away, which I know is farther than dark vision, listeners, and I apologize, but thematically, we'll say that they can see that.
There's something over there past them, yeah. Ignis will turn to the crew and say,
Are you up for some more fighting? Or do you want to try some of these other ones? I have a strong feeling there's something on the other side of this, but we'll have to get through some Sahuagin. Or there's some other doorways we could go down.
My sort of inclination is that if there's treasure somewhere, we're going to have to get through some Sahuagin to get to it.
How far away are they again? Sorry, Thomas.
The Sahuagin themselves that are feeding are about 80 feet from where you currently are at.
Better to meet them on our terms than for them to catch us unawares.
Yeah, if we can go in and catch them by surprise, that could be a good situation.
Max is just listening.
Are we decided?
Shall we go in on the stealth approach? See if we can catch him unawares?
Works for me.
Then Ignis will start moving forward on the captain's orders.
Everybody roll a stealth check here.
Oh boy, stealth time.
Okay. Let's start with Max. What was your stealth roll?
14.
14. And that was, you didn't roll with disadvantage, did you?
No, and half plate doesn't give me disadvantage anyway.
Well,
But I don't
shiver
have
me
the armor on,
timbers,
so-
yo.
Yep.
Okay, 14. Ataraxia.
17.
Buster.
19.
Ignis.
11.
Did you say 11?
Yeah.
Can I give
All
you
right.
my inspiration that I haven't used?
You can.
Yes, you can.
Technically,
Because
yeah.
you're leading the way. So yeah, you roll for, you can have it. If we can get a better roll, that's worth it.
That one's an 18.
Ooh. Ignis leading the charge. All of you at quarter movement going stealth because water's half movement
Take
and then
us
to go
so
stealth.
long to get across this.
20 years later. You're just being very direct with how you're hugging the walls. Ataraxia, you might need to try to cover the light that you are shining here. And with your high roll, you do just that. You sort of like take it and sort of like direct the beam, and a lot of you are almost like holding onto each other's shoulders or just hugging the wall itself until you can get to, so you're hugging southward. As you get past the two other seaweed entrances, you are passing southward so that you have that feel to compensate for the lack of light that each of you do. Ignis, do you have anything to say?
Ignis, as we start this journey, will, without words, go to each of us and show to grab each other's shoulders, and she'll reach out and touch Ataraxia's bandana and reclaim that light. Because we know we're going in stealth. And as it goes dark, there's an element of a feeling of trust, right? Because it's going to be dark and we have to be able to trust each other amidst this tension. And Ignis, very specifically, when she puts Max's hand on the captain's shoulders, just gives him another moment of touch before she reclaims the light. We have to be in the situation, and we're going to trust the situation. And so then she'll reclaim that light.
A tall order with the tension that is continually rising in the crew here. But with imminent danger looking you down the face, you have no choice but to move forward, trusting one another, holding onto one another's shoulders. And maybe, Max, it is a little comfort that you are not holding onto Ignis's shoulder, and you can at least put your trust in the person directly beside you. But maybe I'm putting words in Max's mouth.
And Ataraxia is the only one that I knew that Max would trust.
I will say, Max, as he's been thinking about this, he has been processing, like, very much like, I don't relate to anybody but a child, and a child I can't rely on emotionally. So Max, for this whole journey, Max has felt like, I'm not alone anymore. And this is really the time where Max has felt the most alone. That there's nothing. And even like remembering the ballad of Glenlivet and saying we're family, and family, you know, they fight and everything. And he's just wondering, I think I judged this wrong.
Dang.
Not enough give, too much take in a lot of the interactions that Max has had with some of the crew members.
Or even to the sense of not even just give a take, just they're not me. And obviously no one has to be him, but they're not me. They're not like me. They don't have my worldview. And I don't think they're willing to accept my worldview, even though I have tried to accept somewhat theirs. And he's just feeling very alone.
A very lonely situation as the light disappears around you, Max. As the light dissipates, you holding the shoulder of Ataraxia, not being as hampered by the water as your comrades, but having to go at a slow pace to not lose them and just be completely engulfed by the darkness surrounding you and creeping in on your heart and thoughts.
And you feel a really wiggly form grab your shoulders from behind you, groping for
That clearly breaks you out just at this small moment of Buster trying to not get left
I
behind.
had intended for Max to be in the back, but that's even funnier that Buster's grabbing onto Max. He like grabs onto his tail.
Somehow Buster ended up in the back, in the dark, like,
He's like grabbing his face and grabbing his like shoulder.
And as you inch forward, Ignis, you the one leading the charge here, get closer and closer and closer. Pretty darn close, successfully so. The darkness blocking you and holding you back till you get within 15 feet of the feeding frenzy, and you can see 3 Sahuagin armed, eating, and there are some actually like older, unarmed Sahuagin there that just appear to be eating food in general, as this is the Sahuagin stronghold. There are not just warriors here. There are those that are retired or those that maybe are in a political station here as well that are eating. There is one hammerhead shark that is sort of like lazily swimming around, eating chunks that are floating through the air, being directed, but also in a frenzy as well. You all are within 15 feet, and then you get a little closer, Ignis, 10 feet, and they do not see you.
surprise.
Yeah, he's out of tidal wave, right?
Yes.
No. I could cast it at a well, wait, I can't upcast tidal wave, but I have a thunder wave
Sahuagin
spell.
are there?
There are 3 that are armed, and then a hammerhead shark.
Or I guess I could burn a higher level spell to cast
You could.
tidal wave. It
just
doesn't
wouldn't do
increase the
anything
damage.
extra.
So I could
Correct.
do one more tidal wave, yeah.
Ignis, through her echo, which doesn't make any sound in the water, because it's just a construct, it can move right through it, will go right up to the closest Sahuagin, and I can cast magic from me or from my echo, and she will touch their armor and cast light on it.
The 3 trusting members of the party following Ignis. In pitch black, you suddenly see a bright light illuminating the murky water before you. As you see the Sahuagin's armor light and illuminate the entire chamber here brightly. Not through daylight, but enough to where you can see everything around you. The Sahuagin glancing down at their armor, looking back and seeing you, surprised. Everyone's surprised. That is where we're going to end this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
Let's go.
It will be a surprise round. You each get a surprise because you were
Thank
so
you for the
successful in that
inspiration.
spell. So don't let me forget that. Don't let me take that away from that. Yes,
Dude.
It was the
Well done.
inspiration. It was me. It was Ignis. Ignis definitely needed that.
Man, roller coaster of emotions this episode.
There are. that's like the whole like journey of this journey. Like roller coaster of emotions ever
kinda-
since leaving the boat.
Yeah, we've touched on a whole lot of stuff.
Woo! A lot of people have been Baja blasted in their emotions here.
Oh boy.
Well, everyone, thank you for listening. Players, Mickey, Ned, Jacob, Josh, thank you for playing. Listeners, thank you for following along with us as we navigate these darkened underwater corridors, as well as the darkened underwater emotional corridors that we have in our party here. And if you like what we're doing, or if you want to shoot us a message and ask a few questions, you can reach out to us at icastfireball2020@gmail.com. You can leave us a review on the podcatcher of your choice, or you can go to our Patreon exclusive Discord, where you can go to patreon.com/icastfireball20 and choose the $5 tier to get monthly access to everything we've talked about since, 2 years now? Year and a half? About season 1 and season 2. Some people are just jumping in for the first time and they're only halfway through season 1. So you got a lot of fresh voices about previous episodes and our favorite, the ongoing spoiler threads where people are reacting to the episodes as well. So go ahead and give that a look and see if that works for you. But we're going to shout out Improv Tabletop here, our sister podcast, Ned's podcast over there. They've got some fun stuff over there they're doing. They are now, your main feed, Ned, I believe is one of the favorites, a fan favorite, I believe, correct?
Yep, we're bringing back the Tension Builders, one of our very first stories that we did. It's a Monster of the Week kind of campaign that takes place in a haunted summer camp where everything is made of Legos.
So Legos make it a lot of fun. Somebody lost a limb at one point, and because it was Legos, it wasn't as bad as it would be normally. So you can definitely get away with quite a bit there. But it's a new TTRPG system as well, I believe. It is literally the Monster of the Week.
We are playing Bump in the Dark, which is the Blades in the Dark system, but rejiggered for a Monster of the Week style storytelling.
Ooh, I do like that Blades in the Dark system. So if you like that too, or if you'd like to just know more TTRPGs, go give them a listen. Don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have...
Lieutenant Ignis, how calling?
Ataraxia, Kalian.
And Buster Bloodwater.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.